The next game that I wanted to talk about was the Buccaneers versus the Saints. 38-3. Saints got the dub. Woo! I did not see that coming. I thought it was gonna be a shootout. I thought it was gonna be a great Sunday night football game. This was probably one of the games I was looking forward to the most this season. The match number 2, Saints versus Buccaneers. The Saints beat them on week 1, but the Bucs had like a legit excuse. They hadn't had an off season. It was the first game that Brady played for the Buccaneers. All the chemistry excuses were there, and they made sense. You were like, okay, that makes sense. Like, can't expect so much from the Bucs on week 1 with no off season, with not a lot of training, with all these Zoom meetings. But it was a beatdown from start to finish. The Saints absolutely destroyed the Bucs. Like, where should I even start? Like, Brees had a great game. Brady looked old. That defense was getting pressure on Brady. The Buccaneers were, breaking in their new toy, Antonio Brown, and Godwin was back. Evans was still there. Gronk was supposed to be getting his legs under him. He was supposed to be another weapon. It was ridiculous to see. Everyone from the Sunday night panel picked the Bucs too. I picked the Bucs. Everyone from the Fox panel picked the Bucs. It was just ridiculous. I'm still wrapping my head around it. Just what happened? How did it go so south for the Buccaneers at home too? Like, it was just ridiculous. But for the Saints, it was another day at the office. What they usually do. Brees was spreading the love. He completed a pass to 12 different receivers caught a pass. I don't know if Brees did it to all 12, because Brees got to sit out a little bit in the fourth quarter. So I believe the 12 different catcher was a catch was thrown by Winston, but 12 different receivers from the Saints caught a pass. I think the only one that didn't catch a pass that was eligible to catch a pass was one of their reserve running backs, and that reserve running back got more yards rushing than the whole Bucs team combined, because the Bucs were behind so quickly they had to abandon the run. They only had 8 yards rushing the whole game, which is ridiculous. I'll get into that in a little bit, but Brees put on the show. Brees was magnificent. 222 yards passing, 26 for 32, 4 touchdowns. He takes the all-time lead against Brady one more time. Brady came into the game 1 touchdown ahead of Drew Brees in the all-time touchdowns, and he had 0, and Drew Brees had 4. So Drew Brees is now 3 touchdowns ahead of Brady, and I don't think Brady's gonna catch up to him. Brees looks like he's heating up, and Brady looks like put a little damper his mood this week. But Taysom Hill also had a great game. He got paid this offseason, and now he's still that Swiss Army knife that the Saints love. I know Sean Payton loves him. He was running the ball. He was throwing the ball. He was catching the ball. He was doing everything. He was hurdling over defenders. Man, Taysom Hill really showed what he could bring to a team, what he could bring to the Saints when he's on, when they use him correctly. And it was fun. It was fun to see him go out there and be used in all assets of the offense. He actually threw the ball. They were saying that I think that was the 4th pass that he's thrown the whole season. So it was pretty cool to see him throw the ball. And the Bucs defense just couldn't stop the Saints. The Saints spread the ball so good. Just you can't really key on anybody. Michael Thomas was back. I believe he had 5 or 6 catches. Kamara had his 5 or more usual catches. Emmanuel Sanders got into action too. He caught a touchdown pass. It was just a beautiful display of spreading the wealth. And now I think the Saints should be the favorites in the NFC now. After watching everybody play, I know this changes from week to week. You never know who's the favorite. And one week it'll be the Saints. The Bucs came in as one of the teams that people were like, okay, they should be the favorites. Seattle has been on the top, but then they lost to the Bills. But after this beatdown, the Saints are getting their players back. Michael Thomas is back. They're getting healthy. I think it would be a dishonor. We would be not doing them justice if I didn't think or put them at the top of the power rankings for the NFC. So right now I would put the Saints at the very top. Convincing win on the road against the Buccaneers, who everybody was really high on. That definitely puts the Saints right up there. And now they swept the Patriots. I mean, I think of Brady, I think of the Patriots, but they swept the Bucks 2-0 in the season, and this is the first time that Brady has gotten swept in his whole career. I think that has to do more with how bad the AFC East has been throughout his career. Because when you're playing the Dolphins, when you're playing the Bills, and when you're playing the Jets, it's very hard to get swept 2-0. Like, you might lose one game to them, but they're not going to beat you twice in one season. But first year that he's gone from the AFC East, and it's the first time that he gets swept against a division rival. But as far as Brady, I think he looked old. I think he was forcing the ball too much to Brown. I did kind of see that. I did think he was going to do that. That's why I predicted that Antonio Brown was going to have a good game. I thought Brady was going to be keen to make everyone, like, accept the fact that he's the one that pushed the Bucks to get Antonio Brown. So I thought he was going to make a considerable effort to find him and just, tell everyone could be quiet and everybody could just, get off his back. Because now that Antonio Brown, or now that they lost, and now that Antonio Brown had like a so-so start to his Bucks career, now people are going to start questioning, like, man, was that the right move? Did they even need to bring this guy? Like, what were they thinking? They were already doing good. Like, they didn't need Antonio Brown. And when they start asking those questions or bringing those topics up, they're going to look at Brady because he's the one that really pushed for Brown to be there. So that was my thought process. I thought, all right, he's gonna find Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's going to have a big game, and then everyone's going to be like, okay, I see why they brought him in. I see now why Brady wanted him. But he was trying to feed him the ball. It just didn't work out. On one of those long passes to Antonio Brown, he got intercepted. But there's this saying throughout the years that you never bet against Brady. Like, if you're trying to lose money, you bet against Brady. So even when they were getting beat like 28-0 in the first half, I was like, oh, like, he might come back. Like, I was still watching, like, all right, once he gets one touchdown or gets the ball going and they get on the board, like, and the defense gets a stop and then they score another touchdown, another 14. I just kept like thinking of scenarios in my head, like, how are they going to come back? How is this going to happen? How is Brady going to just, add another comeback to his resume? But it never happened. At the beginning of the third quarter, they got in like goal-to-goal situation and they weren't able to punch it in. They got a fourth down. The Saints got a fourth down stop on this throw that Brady threw to Gronk, and Gronk wasn't able to secure it and he dropped it. And that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. I'm like, all right, this game's done. At the end, the Bucks kicked a field goal just so they wouldn't stay at 0. It's pretty overall pathetic performance by the Bucks. It was lackluster. It was bad. Where do they go from here? If I feel like they kind of blew their Super Bowl chance because now the Saints have a commanding lead for the division title. And if the Bucks end up as a wild card, then they're not going to win the Super Bowl just because Brady's 3-4 on the road his whole career. He's always had the pleasure of at least playing 2 home games. If he's not the 1 or 2 seed, he always gets the bye. It's just an easier road. You play one last game, you're basically guaranteed a home playoff the whole time till the Super Bowl. And if the Bucks have to go on the road 3 times to get to the Super Bowl, I can tell you right now, it's not gonna happen. Brady's not gonna win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. So they have to win the division, and now the road gets very, very tough for them. And I don't see it happening. So I think this was a big game. It was a pivotal game. I think the Saints understood what a big game this was. That's why these videos came out afterwards, like about their celebration. Sean Payton dancing with his players in the locker room. Like, strobe lights were out. The lighting was cool. Those videos were nice, and I think it's because the Saints understand what the magnitude of this victory, and now the Saints position themselves to fight for that number 1 seed in the NFC. And if they do, then this might be the year that the Saints get over the hump. I know they've had cruel losses the last 2 or 3 years, and it seems like it's not going to happen. But Drew Brees came back for 1 more year, and the way they played yesterday, they could beat anybody. So if you're a Saints fan, don't give up yet. This might be the year.